All right, guys, there is another expansion team coming into the USL Championship in 2026, and I'm telling you guys, this league is growing, and if it continues to, with the proper steps, this league is going to take over. But before we get into that, just a real quick recap over the weekend. And I think we have to talk about Loose City. Loose City absolutely dominated Birmingham Legion with the score being 5-0. With any game, if you're putting up 5 goals and having a clean sheet, that is an amazing accomplishment. And I feel bad for the other team. Birmingham Legion, to not even score 1, that has to be gut-wrenching for the players. I mean, just, get me off the pitch as soon as possible. But absolutely amazing from Loose City. They dominated, like I said. I think they had a real great performance in front of their fans. And if they continue that up, they're just going to be a team to be reckoned with. And I think someone else, Las Vegas, they scored 3-0 against Oakland Roots, and Oakland was at home. And I know Las Vegas doesn't have the coolest jersey, but they got the job done. Doesn't matter what you're wearing as long as you're scoring goals. And they were able to take down one of the best looking jersey teams in the USL Championship. They literally said, move over fashion, we got this. Like I said, Las Vegas has come a long way in my opinion. I think with a lot of fans, actually, there's no denying it. They are a completely different team, and with that performance, I think it's very safe to say that the old days are gone in the Jose Bautista ownership group. It's exciting to see, and I can't wait to see what else they are able to bring to the table. Rhode Island FC scored first, and you thought, okay, here we go, Rhode Island, they're gonna be able to compete, get rid of that expansion team kind of stigma of not being able to succeed the first year. But then the second half, I don't know what happened. They kind of turned off or they looked kind of gassed. They looked out of it. They did not look comfortable. And Tampa Bay was able to capitalize off of that, and they were able to dominate. With the final score being 4-1. To me, it seems like Rhode Island FC, they still have some tightening of the screws to do. They're a little bit wobbly in the sense of the team adjusting. I think ultimately this just shows that being an expansion team, there is a lot of work to do when you're competing against guys who have competed in this league for a long time. As a team has already established itself, it's a repetitive pattern of new teams not being able to really find their footing the first year, and this just ultimately played into that. But speaking of expansion teams, we have to get into it. Buffalo has been announced as a new potential team for the USL Championship, with Peter Marlett Jr. leading the way for this team to hopefully be able to compete in the league. So guys, this just proves that the USL is growing, that soccer is growing in the United States, and there's no better way to do all of these things before Copa America, before the World Cup in 2026. All eyes are going to be here in the US. So soccer in the United States is growing. There's no doubt about that. And I think the USL Championship is rightfully so trying to capitalize on that, capitalize on different markets that were not tapped by MLS, and having that closed system. And you could say they're trying to do it with MLS Next Pro, but let's be honest, nobody is watching that. And so the USL has 3 tiers: Championship, League 1, and League 2. And so they can they have a much more better research team, I would think, better eyes on the US to say what is working, what isn't working, and who can we go and kind of move up into the league. With Buffalo being announced, I think that is a great thing because the MLS kind of already has that closed door, and because the door is closed, you don't have that open system. That's it. You know what I mean? And so with the league announcing that it could be Buffalo joining, I think that's great because now you can have different types of competitions, different types of derbies who are nearby. So Pittsburgh or Detroit, something like that. So you can have these new type of rivalries, and that just ultimately helps with the growth of the game. Also with the fan experience, having fans, kind of clashing with one another. And so, who doesn't like a good rivalry? That can only benefit the league. So the next step for Peter is to find a stadium in where they can play. And so he's trying to talk to different leaders, different community organizations to try to find that space, because if you don't have a home to play in, that's definitely something when a team is trying to start up, you need to have that. You need to have somewhere, and I'm sure that isn't cheap, and I'm sure there's a lot of planning that goes into it. The parking, the fans, what are they going to do? Where are they going to seat? The food and all that. So I know that there's a lot of work, and so right now they're saying they want to join in 2026, but we have seen other teams who had set a goal of when they were going to come, but they had to push it back just because of different circumstances. So I hope that doesn't happen here, but with the right type of work and the right type of communication, I'm sure that this will come into fruition. Peter has also said they don't have a team crest, they don't have a team color, so he's looking for that community to come out and engage into this new brand, into this new team. The only thing I'm a little bit confused about is that FC Buffalo already exists. There's a team already there. They play in League 2. And something that I find kind of interesting is the owner of that club says he's for Buffalo having a new team. Buffalo Pro Soccer is what it's called right now. So he's for that. I just kind of would have thought, wouldn't you want to work together with us or kind of build what we have right now and you know, maybe be a partner or a majority owner and buy this club. And with this fan base that we have already, with this team that we have, we could kind of grow together and make something new. I didn't see that in any article yet, but if that does exist, I think that'd be a good thing. But ultimately, the owner said that he was all for Buffalo Pro Soccer. So in my eyes, it seemed like he was kind of saying like, okay, this might not exist anymore. Or if it does, kind of be like a thing that Miami did, you know, with Miami FC and then Inter Miami. And then they're kind of now competing against each other. And we all know who's winning that right now. So, I mean, I just kind of want to see how that plays out into the future. But ultimately, I think this is a great thing for the league. I mean, I would love to have more USL teams. In my opinion, I think we need some more in the Midwest. But hey, you got to get a team where it will succeed, because ultimately you want that growth. You want that continued growth. You don't want teams folding. And like I've said before, the USL has had, unfortunately, that type of history. But ultimately, I cannot wait to see what this league looks like in a couple of years, because the growth is real, guys. There are so many more channels, so many more people trying to make content for this league, and it's exciting to see. And just overall attendance, the league announcing the TV deals that they have. So this league is growing, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like when the World Cup comes here. But what do you guys think about this? Is it a good idea to have Buffalo become the next spot for the USL Championship, or would you have liked to see it somewhere else? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys all on the next one.